Good evening, everybody. Tim Gillette here. I think it's about time I had a little conversation with y'all and maybe broke the silence with a live stream content creation session like I have not done in a long time. In January, I actually had COVID for the second time and kind of like paused an awful lot of what I was doing. Changed an awful lot of what I was doing. Stayed silent an awful lot on what I was doing. Just over 30 days ago, I sat in my mentor's living room of his home with a couple of great close friends and told my mentor, yes, I'm quitting. After 12 years of doing this, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. It's time to quit. That was my thoughts. In 2016, I thought very, very highly of what was going on in the content world. As live streaming was taking root and I was doing live streaming, repurpose your content, all right, move it through different avenues, make a podcast, all that stuff. On May, I'm looking back onto it, was May 10th was the last time I did one of my podcasts. And I decided I was taking a break, number one, because I am in the middle of selling my house. I'm selling the house and going to find a new place, and I don't know when I will actually have a studio again real soon. However, I still do, not that I don't do the Tim Gillette show, I still do my joint show with Katrina Garcia where we do the Business G-Spot and talk about business hotspots. I still do Like the Way You Drink on Monday nights with my friend and partner, Gladys Boutwell. But I've paused the Tim Gillette show specifically as we look at what's going on in the world. Specifically today is a great example as to why I've been paused on watching what I do on my podcast. Now, I'm not going to share my opinion on the matter. Yes, some very world-changing things have happened in our nation's capital today and happened in the United States. And you may have an opinion as to what it is, and I have an opinion as to what is right or wrong. That is my opinion. And if your opinion's different than mine, I'm okay with that. I will not condemn you for your opinion. Abortion isn't the problem that I'm calling out. It has become very, very good to watch today as I watched the many people as I went through my Facebook today, which I've not been on Facebook much. I've not watched a lot of news. I do not watch mainstream media anymore. I do not get involved in conversations on social media concerning what's going on in the news today. I have opinions onto it. And I like people who can voice their opinions on subject. That's creating content, voicing your opinions on the subject. However, the reason why I talk about the subject of quitting is because I'm sick of people, what they're doing. However, it is making it very easy to many of you who applied to be on my Tim Gillette show, because you are spewing hatred towards the people who don't agree with you. And I won't tolerate it, because that's very much, I say, that is in my guidelines for the Tim Gillette show. And if you voiced an opinion today and just say, hey, I've got an opinion on this, I like it, I dislike it, whatever. But when you tear into the people who are on the other side because they differ from your opinion, you will never be on the Tim Gillette show. Ever. Period. I don't tolerate you. That is my non-tolerance policy. And if you were already on my show and you spew hatred to somebody on the other side, I will remove your show, period, and delete it. If you want to unfriend me from Facebook, go right ahead for that. But if you're going to voice on Facebook, well, if you disagree with me, unfriend me now because I'm going to unfriend you. Don't apply to be on my show, period. I don't want you on my show. I don't want to deal with people like you. You are the problem. Face it. It's why I'm thinking, should I quit and give this up? Should I stop creating content? Because it's great when we have content and we share opinions, but when we spew hatred at one another because of the fact that we disagree with the other side, and we call them names because they have a different opinion than you. They were raised in a different world than you, and they're entitled to have that opinion. I don't have to agree with their opinion, but I also will never hate them or tell them they can't be my friend because their opinion is different than mine. I've stayed silent over the last couple of months because I'm trying to decide, do I want to continue? Or do I just want to do a couple things and help the people who want help? I've spent 10 years in this industry, 12 years actually. 12 years of doing it, and that was after waiting 6 years after Zig Ziglar told me to do it. And it is very, very much was an okay and cool world while it worked. But about 2016, it started to change, and I don't know if I want to be in it anymore. When you can't say things in a live stream because people get offended. When you can't talk about a subject because your things will get bounced off of Facebook, off of YouTube, because they disagree with your opinion. It's not worth it sharing it anymore. Yes, I have decided that I will be traveling less. I will be still doing virtual events. My live events in Dallas are very, very small. I'm no longer going to be doing blog and VideoCon. I'm no longer going to be working with people to create content that spews hatred. That's my biggest pain that I don't want to deal with. When we cannot use content to share our opinions, all right, and share with how we feel the world should be and how we should positively impact it. Instead, we want to spew hate or make fun of those people who don't agree with us, but then stop them if they try to do the same to us. I wondered and pondered all day about whether I would do this live stream. And I've not put a newsletter out in probably 5 months. And people said, Tim, are you quitting? We haven't heard from you. It's because I'm trying to figure out where I want to be in this world. And you know, every good speaker, every good mentor, every good coach comes to the point where they get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm there. That's why I'm not running fancy broadcasts every week. I do one podcast that's real fun. Taste food, taste drink, talk about it. But giving my opinion about the changes in our world today. It's a change. I have an opinion about it. I'm not going to tell you whether I think my opinion, I think this is right or wrong. I'm not going to. To those of you who think this is right, great for you. To those of you who think this is wrong, now it's time to buckle down and figure out how you're going to impact the world in a positive change to make your difference, to change it back. But if you're going to spew hatred at the other side because they wanted this and got it, you're wrong. And if you're on the side gloating that this is happening and pointing fingers at them and saying they're wrong, you're wrong as well. We've lived in a politically hate-motivated world where we divide ourselves over things, on opinions. And we fight with others because they have a different opinion. We want to solve all the problems in the world, all right? And we want the world's celebrities to come out and tell us what we should do when they have no experience doing it. Instead, Why don't we look at, there's great content creators out there who are creating great content to help you deal and really think about the situation. I love watching those mini reels where someone actually does this little narrative on a subject. They put a whole concept out as a mini story, and they put it out to get you to think about the actual subject. They don't condemn the people who think differently. They just put it out there in a small story. That's the content I want to see again. And if the content's not going to be like that, I don't know if I want to be in this world anymore. I'm thinking about doing a series to talk about this very subject, to talk about the rights and wrongs of content. I'd like to have a couple conversations with it. If you're a content creator and you want to have a conversation with me, we talk about how we're going to change and use content to positively impact the world with our opinions. Then let's have a talk. Let's get together and do a great broadcast about it and create content about it. Talk about how people can impact change with content. Because I'm all in on that. So let's do this. Because I really I didn't create up a funnel system to do it, all right? I just want you to go over to timgillette.com, put your name and email address into, or go to timgillette.com/podcast interview. Put your name and email address in the system. And when you get an email back, email me back and say, Tim, I want to have that conversation about positive impact in content. And we'll schedule a live stream where we will have positive talk about it and how we're going to change the world by creating positive content for the greater good, and how we're going to stop the hatred. And we're not going to deal with the hatred people. We're going to ignore them. And we're not going to support them anymore. We're not going to fight back with them. We're just going to ignore them and let them go their way. Because I don't want to be part of a world that spews hatred for their content anymore. So let me say hi to a couple people of you. Thank you all for joining in. First of all, Anna, it is so good to see your smiling face, or your O face with your sunglasses. I really would love to see your smiling face again. Hi, Tim, Facebook user. I'm assuming my favorite Facebook user is Rena. All right, who I can't wait till she becomes a Texan. All right, my favorite girl from overseas, Anita Sonia. All right, thank you for joining in. Mr. Larry Roberts here in Dallas. It is so good to see everything you are doing, Larry. You are the prime example in the Dallas area of making a positive impact with content, and I love it. Keep up the good work, Larry. So, sorry, this is Jake. All right, Jake. Hey, Jake. I think Jake from Coaches Group is that. I think that's who. Yeah. All right. I think I know who you are now. But I see Rena here as well. Rena, I am. Yeah, Rena. I loved. All right. I loved. I listened to Rena. I listened to your podcast with you interviewing me. I love the way you edit and took that conversation to a great editing. Oh my gosh, Rena, I really, really loved your show when I seen what you did with our interview. That just fascinated me. So Jake Valentine, yes, sir. Yeah, man, Jake, I'd love to have a conversation with that, because it is, you know it as well, and coaches. And there was a thing mentioned in your group just the other day about, and all my, about speakers being just like this. And my comment was just sad. It breaks my heart to see that. So anyway, thanks. I'm always smiling underneath the sunglasses. The photo is a selfie I took on the way to a wedding in Tampa in August. So it's time to upgrade yours. If you notice, my pictures finally got upgraded. I have some cooler pictures of me with short hair. So I am no longer the long-haired guy, Tim. I am not going back to the long-haired guy, Tim. The not Tom Petty days are gone. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not my brand anymore. My brand is just me. And I am sick of not being me. I kind of love being me. So I thank you all for listening in. Again, this was just something that I wanted to share My points on this, ladies and gentlemen, is we need to start creating positive content to positively impact our opinions in the world. And we need to ignore the haters. Just ignore the haters. That's it. So yes, we're going to get haters. So I was actually, I was reading, and it made me think about this is when I really wanted to do it. I was reading John Schneider, the actor John Schneider, who was in the Dukes of Hazzard, and he actually made a comment about today's decision, and then sharing his opinion, and he shared the positivity he felt that would come from this opinion. Even though a lot of people have attacked him, all right, he ignored the attacks and he actually put comments into it. Yes, but I think it's good because, and that's it. That's where you positively impact people by sharing the positive side of what you see in the way things are done. Ignoring the people who are just going to spew hate at you because you have that opinion. All right. And again, I've seen that since 2016. Started in 2016 when we first started seeing live streaming and people putting out their opinions, and it has only gotten worse. And I don't want to be part of it. So when I seen that today, it was really good. But like I'm trying to think some of the guys who create the small narratives, all right, that I love them. So anyway, hey Lynn, it's great to see you. All right, and it was great. Another great show that I was gone. So I was over the past 2 months. I've been on a couple shows. This coming month, I will be on Cindy's show with my partner Gladys. Other than that, I'm not really scheduled to be on anybody else's podcast. I am hoping that I will bring the Tim Gillette Show back, and I'm hoping I'll be able to bring my Tim Gillette Show back in August once we have a new home. All right, we will be selling again. So you don't know I've not really kept it. My home that I live in. This one here. Many of you watched the videos in 2018 when we bought this house and totally renovated it. I did a lot of live streams of this place being totally renovated. Now we are selling it, moving on and getting another home, and not sure that what we're going to do, whether we're going to buy or lease or what we're going to do, but we are moving on to do different things because I'm taking off doing more in my real estate investing now than I am doing in my personal stuff, and I may just rent a house for the time being until I decide where we're going to live. So we are going to be out of the condos. My other condo, my former one, if you go back to my 2016 live streams, all right, they were done from my old condo that had the bar in the background and all that stuff. That condo there just went under contract, and that one there will be selling. And that will be sold here in the beginning week of July, we hope. And then this one here, literally, there are people coming in the next couple of days. Why I'm not doing a lot of podcasts or recordings? Because a lot of people are booking to come look at my house, and I'm trying very much to make it available without having to say, "Well, no, you can't come by because I'm broadcasting a podcast." So anyway, that's why I'm not booking podcasts. However, if you apply to be on my podcast from now on, and I go to your social media and I see you've posted hatred. Today's decision is a perfect example of that. You post hatred to someone who has a different opinion than you on today's subject. It is a decision that was made in the courts, all right? And yes, some people are going to like it and some people aren't going to like it. But that moment when you actually start hating the people and spewing hate to the people who have the different opinion, you will not be on my podcast. And if you do not give me your social media information when you apply to be on my podcast, I just remove you from the list. So, now more than ever, all right, for every 10 people who apply to be on my podcast, one makes it through because they have gone through such political hate over the last couple of years, being involved in how they do what they do and sharing their content on social media, that I do not put up with it. And I don't care, even if you're on a side. And by the way, I unfriended a friend years ago because even though I believed in what he said and I believed in his opinion, he spewed such hatred towards the other side. I could not tolerate that, and I would not stay associated with that person. I just don't. All right. And I have no problem with anyone being on the other side. I just am not willing anymore to be associated with those people who are going to spew hate. The world is bad enough as it is. We don't need people who are going to hate one another just because we have a difference of opinion. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, that if you believe in something, and I have a client who really believes in something that I'm not going to tell you, I probably don't believe fully in it like she does, but I'm supporting her, creating content around it. And I want her to create content around it in a positive, impactful way to get people to think about the subject, because she's made me think about the subject by not spewing hate at me about the subject, even though I don't 100% agree. But guess what? I partially agree now because she got me thinking about the subject with positive, thoughtful content. And that's what we need more of. So, Melanie Weiser, how are you? It is good to see you. All right. I'm not commenting on the subject of the day. People that know me know how I feel. Exactly, Melody. All right. A lot of people know how I feel about it. They know my wife and I's opinion. And my wife and I have a very strong opinion on this. All right. But I'm not going to spew hate on you because you have because you're on the other side. All right. I'm not going to reword it so that it looks positive for you and negative for me. I'm not going to agree with that either. Just not going to. I'm not going to dip my foot in that pool any longer. And if that's the way that content is going to go in order to get followers and subscribers and stuff like that, check me out. I can go do other things to make money. I've created other businesses. I can walk away from this one today and go create another one in a heartbeat. That's what I do with my clients, is I help them create businesses all the time. Anyway, God bless you all. Thank you for those of you who have commented, showed up. All right. For those of you who agree with me, I thank you for agreeing with it. Those of you who disagree with me, I'm okay with it. All right. And I support you disagreeing with me. And I am okay with that. You're my friend, even though you disagree with me. I will never unfriend you because you disagree with me or I disagree with you, ever. Because you're my friend. I just want you to actually use positive content to help people see your point of view. I'm Tim Gillette, ladies and gentlemen. Simple Easy Marketing. I love you all. Take care.